Hello, this is Dennis Pennington, Wheat Extension Specialist for Michigan State University, here to show you today how to download weather data and calculate growing degree days for wheat and determine whether you've reached green up or not. So first, go to the MSU EnviroWeather station or website. It's at enviroweather.msu.edu. I'll type that into the box here in the recording. Once you get to EnviroWeather, there's a bunch of different menus across the top. If you go to Weather, come down here to the bottom, there's this thing called Data on Demand. You're going to want to click on Data on Demand. It's down here at the bottom. And then you'll be able to download data specifically for what you want. They have a bunch of other tools and information that you can access here, and you can play around with those to see what they are. But in order to download this data, we're going to need to go to this Data on Demand. So I'll click on that, and it takes me up to this station or this page, and this is the map that shows where all the different weather stations are located. So find a weather station that's located nearest to you. I'm going to just pick East Lansing because I'm in East Lansing. When I get there, it's got a picture of the weather station and where it's located. It tells you some information about it, the lat, lawn, locations and the elevation, so on. And if you scroll on down here, you can get these custom reports. This is what you want. You want this is the data on demand. And if you hit the drop down arrow here, you want to go down to growing degree day data. There's a bunch of other things that you can get here as well, but for these calculations we wanted the growing degree data. Once you do that, notice now we have these selections down here to make. First thing is you got to select what method. Well, we do not use the Baskerville min, we use the simple average, and our base temperature is going to be 0, so make sure you select simple average, and here you want to type a 0 for the base temperature. And then we need to use metric units down here because the way the growing degree days are calculated, it has to be calculated with Celsius degrees, not Fahrenheit. So make sure you select metric here, and there's two different options down here for the output. You can either have it display on the screen, which is this HTML, or you can select CSV, which will download a file if you want to track it and add to it and manipulate the data later. I'm just going to display it on the screen because we're just interested in seeing what the data is and what it looks like. So I selected the station. We've got our simple average, base temperature 0. I've got metric selected. I've got the output. I want to just put it on the screen and do HTML. Now we just got to select the dates, and I'm going to choose here February 1 just to make sure we get enough data in here to really see. I don't expect back in February we had very many days where the average temperature was above freezing, but I'm just going to select these days to start with. So I'm going to hit generate report, and then it brings up a report. It's got the heading on here, tells you which station it was at and the information from there. And then you get these columns with, you got your date in the first column, you got your air temperature maximum for the day, you got your air temperature minimum for the day, and then this is your growing degree day average. So this is your average temperature for the day. And you can see back on February 1st, 2021, it was 8.9 degrees Celsius was a high temperature, negative 6.5 was a low temperature, the average was 1.2, so we actually accumulated 1.2 growing degree days or heat units for wheat. So in order for green up to occur, we have to have 7 days in a row where this is a positive number. Now notice it reports zeros if it's a negative number, so it won't never report a negative number because just because your temperatures are cold, it doesn't go backwards. So we're looking where we have 7 of these positive in a row, and as you scroll down, I can see a little bit there. We got a couple days where we had some there. Another 2 days where we had some heat units, a little bit warmer out, but we still got some zeros. There we had a little bit. Had a couple of days here, and you can see down here we only had 2 days in a row here of positive heat accumulation on the 14th and 15th of March. So if the forecast, and the forecast does look like we've got another 5 days coming where the average temperature will be above freezing, if that was the case, then the date that greenup would occur would be 5 days from March 15th, or it would be on March 20th. So for the current year, we have not reached greenup yet at this East Lansing location. So let me scroll back up here and let me go back to last year. Let's just see what happened last year. So I'm just going to hit my back button on the screen, and I'm going to go back here, and I want to leave all the stuff the same. I want the simpler average, the base 0. I want the metric, and I want it displayed on the screen. But let's just go look at 2021 instead and see what happened in 2021. And I'm going to move this a little bit later to make sure I capture the the 7 days in a row. So I'm going to take this all the way to the end of March. So we're going back to 2021 at this East Lansing location. I'm going to generate the report. Here's the report. We got the same columns. Now notice this is 2021 here. And so we're looking at this column here, this average. And you can see down here as I scroll down, we got 0, 0, zeros. And then here I've got a positive, but then we got back to zeros. So we got positive, positive, then back to zeros. So we still don't have our greenup. We got to have 7 of these in a row. So here's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. This is the 7th day right here. So on this date, on 3/14, was the day that we reached greenup at the East Lansing location. So March 14th, 2021. So this is a way to use the data and the information to determine when you reach some of the different growth stages. Now, one thing that you can do if you want to start tracking this or keep track, maybe you want to create a spreadsheet that has this over time, and you could do multiple years in here. Just select this CSV and rerun this report, and then what it does is, notice it generates a Excel file. You click on the Excel file, open it up, and it basically puts this information in an Excel file instead of having it display on the screen. So you still got your dates in here for 2021. You've got your columns here, and down here is where you had your 7 days in a row. So on this date here, this is when you had your greenup actually occurred on this particular file. So if you have any questions, please contact me at pennin34@msu.edu or 269-832-0497.